Okay, good again. Well, made a little more progress on the ST. I've finally come up with a basic shape that I'm happy with. As I said, the fairing, well, to me anyway, looks much better when it's matching the rocker cover on the engine. Because it's still got to be trimmed up. It's not perfectly parallel to it, but yeah, we'll do that with the final trim up. Okay, you can see, I showed in the previous video where I stuck a bit of cardboard behind it and put some car putty over the top to change the shape of it. So I'll go ahead now and put a layer of glass over that, just one thin layer. I'll have to take it off to do that. It doesn't gravity, it's not really the right word, but anyway, the weight of the fiberglass will fall down. So to do it sideways you could do it, but while it's on the bike, but it'll work a whole lot better if it's laying flat. So so I'll put a layer of glass over that now, and then I'll grind it away on the inside, get the bits of cardboard off, clean most of the putty off, get it to a smooth surface, and then I'll put 2 or 3 layers of glass on the underside of that. Also up here I'm going to put probably 3 or 4 layers of glass under this edge here, because I'm still not convinced that coming out wide to narrow is going to work. So as I said, rather than the previous idea of cutting it off, if I just build it up, like I won't need to take it any lower here. It's just this outside edge. You can just, if I build up the glass underneath there, well, then I can just grind this down along here until I get a shape that works. So, and I'm also going to put another 2 or 3 layers underneath this. Probably 2 should be sufficient, just because in this area, like to make the original shape, the glass over, I've just made it up with bits of cardboard and sticky tape, and it's not smooth by any means. It's sort of quite lumpy, and I want to build it up on the inside so that when I do smooth this off, because I'll be sanding the whole thing actually, but down here I'll probably have to take a considerable amount off to get it smooth. I don't want to be rubbing through it anyway. So instead I'll build up another layer, at least 1 or 2 layers there. This here, I'll grind the rivets off. That's glassed on the inside now, so it won't matter about taking the heads off the rivets. Same as this, I'll clean that up a bit more too. Like, I'll be sanding the whole thing anyway, but what I do, I've still got a few brackets to put on the other side. So whilst I'm glassing the inside of this, I'll get the rest of the brackets made for the other side, and I'll show you how to glass brackets onto fiberglass. I was about to say steel brackets, but steel's not really a good thing to use, because you've got part of it inside the fiberglass, like you riveted in place. You have the plate full of holes, like on these other brackets, then you glass over it. But because the steel is protruding out of it, if you've got steel plate, it'll go rusty in there eventually, no matter what you do. So that's why I prefer to use aluminium, because you don't get that rust issue. Okay, we've got the other piece is sort of made, not finished by any means. They're sitting up there, so that's sort of basically how it's going to look. And hopefully it's going to be enough to deflect not so much the wind but rain off my hands. I think I mentioned in the first video I made when I started this how I rode it back. I had a 1500k trip to bring it home from where I bought it, and it rained for most of the distance. So, you know, before I even got halfway, I had 2 pairs of soggy wet gloves and frozen hands, and I eventually got ski gloves. But yeah, the idea of these is just to deflect wind and rain off your hands. When you're riding, you know, like 1500 k's one trip, comfort is everything. Yeah, that's the whole reason for the highway pegs to start with, because I was getting really sore knees and I wasn't even halfway. I kept stopping and walking around, and it was becoming a real problem. So yeah, and on some bikes you can sort of rest your feet on the engine or something, but you couldn't do that anywhere with this, you know. So yeah, got the highway pegs. So this piece here we've got show you on this one actually. I've already put the layer of glass over the front of here, and I had to putty the inside a bit, so puttied over the outside. That's sort of basically almost finished. That's basically ready for primer actually. Probably a little bit more up here on top, but yeah, and that's just rubber, the 40 grade, and with a 2-pack primer, you know, I'll put 3 or 4 heavy coats of 2-pack primer over that, leave it for a day, and I'll be able to rub them scratches out. They'll full completely, so yeah, it won't be an issue. So we'll take this off now. That's how it comes off. If this bit didn't clip off, it was part of the fairing, I wouldn't have been able to put bolts, so I'd have to put, at least one of them would have had to have been a nut, like a nut glassed into it instead of a bolt, welded and glassed. The reason I've gone with bolts is because it's screwing onto plastic, you can't tighten the nuts up. Or if I had nuts in there with bolts, I'd have to Loctite them because they'd vibrate loose, because you can't tighten it enough to stop it coming loose. So by having studs, I can put nylock nuts on it, and that will, then I don't risk over tightening it, crushing the plastic or the fiberglass, and it's not going to come loose. Okay, the main reason for taking this off. Okay, I'm about to lay another piece of glass over the top. Let me get that, we can see it. Yeah. So I did fill over that green foam, it was a bit low, and that'll make it reasonably smooth. But as you can see, I've sanded that down, and you can see the fiberglass edge cleanly all the way around. So when I lay this piece of glass on it now, it will bond into all 3 sides without any issues. There you go. Okay, well, thanks for watching. The next video on this will be, as I mentioned, putting brackets, so I'll get this side matched up with the other side now, and then I'll take them both off, and I'll show you how to attach brackets. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like the video, hit like please.